Priced out, two words many longtime Austinites are familiar with, especially generations of families who grew up in the heart of East Austin.
If you travel through time, you'll discover a sordid tale of racist policies, soaring home prices, and gentrification, pushing entire communities out of the city. These maps tell the story of a demographic shift in Austin. The purple color you see represents the black population. And as you can see, through the decades, the purple slowly fades, leading to this shrinking black population in the state's capital, while other fast-growing cities saw growth. Tonight, KXAN's Jennifer Sanders is digging into a new plan rolling out this fall to bring back displaced families to a place they once called home.
I'm emotionally attached to East Austin. That's home.
I wish it could go back the way it was. You know, I can feel it and see it right now.
The history of East Austin that old friends Ambrose Kearney and Vicki Wilson James so fondly remember has slowly faded away. These streets, lined with coffee shops, restaurants, and high-priced condos, were once home to thriving Black-owned businesses and homes.
The Shaw Garage was on 12th Street, that Mr. Jones Barbershop, and just businesses all up and down. And you knew these people because you went to church with them, or, you know, you grew up with kids. And it was just a community.
It was home, and all the people of my same color were there.
And much of that was by design, dating back to the city of Austin's 1928 master plan. The city's government created what it labeled a Negro district in East Austin. The purpose, moving all of Austin's black population into one area to save money and solve Austin's desire to segregate the race.
I remember young seeing a sign, it said Black land, and we were on the east side of 35. All of that was considered black land, all the way up into Airport Boulevard.
But as the years passed, the landscape changed. Housing costs went up. Many families started to move to places like Manor and Pflugerville, like Kearney and James.
Priced out. When families die, the kids have the homes and they can afford them with the taxes.
This 2018 City Council resolution aimed to address just that, intense development pressures and gentrification leading to the displacement of longtime Austin residents. The resolution directed the city manager to propose a preference policy, creating affordable housing units based on generational ties to the city. And now in 2021, those words are turning into action. Nefertiti Jackman is the city's community displacement prevention officer.
It provides preferences for people based upon the household size, based upon whether or not they have a disability, based upon whether or not they are income eligible, and then also based upon their generational ties.
If a person applies and qualifies, they could end up in one of 28 city-owned properties that fall under the policy. Now, the income requirement would vary if it's a home or a rental property. It would be about $78,000 for a four-person household based on the county's median family income. But how exactly do you ensure a policy like this is sustainable for the people who move in?
It will allow families to remain even as taxes begin to increase.
Austin's policy is modeled after the preference policy implemented in what's been labeled one of the most gentrified cities in America, Portland.
So we use it for both home ownership and for rental.
Portland's policy started in 2015 and is funded by the city's housing bureau's various displacement programs, helping 491 renters and 93 new homeowners. That's just a fraction of the near 6,000 applicants the program's seen. So far, just one of the criticisms it's faced.
Most of them were nowhere close to being mortgage ready. And so the first 2 years, we didn't get our first homeowners.
Portland uses community partners to help homeowners and create an inclusive environment. It's a similar idea in Austin, where city organizers hope to work with places like the Carver Museum.
If you talk about someone who faced displacement in the past, is this a correct remedy for them? And I don't know necessarily that they would agree but I think it is the right thing for our city to do, to try to take some corrective actions.
For Kearney and Wilson, it's too soon to say whether they'll move back. Sometimes policies like this and memories alone could be enough.
Let's see if we can start all over again, get it back to where it was.
It was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. That comes from the heart. It really does.
In Austin, Jennifer Sanders, KXAN News.
So what is the timeline for the preference policy here in Austin? Housing and Planning is in the development phase, working on process and selection criteria. In the fall, staff will begin outreach to people and communities who qualify. Then the application period and screening will begin. In winter is when the preference filtering will begin, with the hopes of getting people in those homes. We are tracking how many people apply and qualify, the locations of the properties, and the budget, which the city says will be linked to other displacement programs. More online in this story on the homepage of KXAN.com.